If you turn the video off, then please tell me what the reason for it was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn international studies, today Costa Rica, and after we've done that, we're going to do hip training. And if you participate in the hip training, then it's very young. This is part 2 to Costa Rica. We want to read over text again, and then gather information together which we want to have, and then making out of memory, so we have to memorize these things, a presentation. Costa Rica. The book is from the 70s. Costa Rica. In 1948, Costa Rica abolished its army to make military coups impossible. As a result, it is now the only democracy in Central America and one of the few in the whole of Latin America. Not only do a number of parties compete for political power, but to prevent corruption, the state pays their electoral expenses. We don't know what is of it still accurate, in particular the thing with the only democracy. We're gonna say, in 1948, Costa Rica abolished its army to make military coups, to prevent military coups. And also, this Costa Rica, we don't have a proper map. It is between North America and South America, pretty much where Panama is, where the Panama Canal is. So south of Mexico, north of Colombia and Ecuador. There are lowland areas on both the Pacific and the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, but most of the country consists of mountain chains that run northwest to southeast and reach heights of 4,000 meters. Okay, lowland at the coast sides of the Pacific and the Caribbean. But there are, most of the country are mountains or mountain chains, mountain sides. They are running north to west and south to east. North to west and south to east. But there are many mountains. Northwest, southwest, 4,000 meters high. Between the two chains of mountains are the upland areas which are the heart of Costa Rica. The rich volcanic soils are good for growing coffee and the slopes provide lush pasture for cattle. Okay, first the thing about the army, 1948, the military coups. And then we're going to say north to west, yes, east, so west, north to west and south to east. North to west and east to south. To mountain ranges going. And there are 4,000 meters high, there's lowland areas at the coast. And that is the heart of Costa Rica. The soil is very good for food. What is it here? Good for growing coffee. And the slopes provide lush pasture for cattle. Okay, it is a volcanic soil, good for growing things, coffee, and also the lush pasture is good for cattle. Until the 1930s, bananas were grown on the Caribbean coast. Attacks by disease, however, forced cultivation to be moved to the Pacific coast. Okay, at the Caribbean coast until the 1930s were the banana planted, and then there were diseases, and now they're planted on the Pacific coast. Until there has been some exploitation of gold and silver, but the reserves of iron ore and bauxite, which exist in some quantities, have been developed only recently. Okay, there's also mining done after iron, gold, silver, iron and bauxite. Gold, silver, iron and bauxite. Similarly, although 4/5 of Costa Rica is richly forested, there is great scope for further exploitation of the forestry resources. I understand it that way. But in the year 1978, when this book was done, 4/5 of Costa Rica was forest, but there were many people who had the ambitions to cut some of these trees to make soil for plants, for other plants, to make agriculture. For further exploitation of the forestry resources. So just for the trees, just to get the wood. 4/5 are forest. Then this big book was written in the 70s, but there is a great scope. I think they mean ambition to cut them and sell wood. Industry is mainly food processing and manufacturing chemicals derived from sulfur. The industry is a lot of food processing, or mostly food processing, and manufacturing chemicals and manufacturing chemicals from sulfur, the volcanic soil. Good for coffee and lush for the slopes are lush for the cattle. More than 80% of Costa Ricans are white. Costa Rica has had a white majority for centuries. The native Indians were unable to resist European diseases in the 16th century and have never recovered their numbers since. There are a few Indians and also people with black skin color, but most of the non-white population is of mixed white and Indian. The population is increasing by over 4% a year, but Costa Rica retains the highest standard of living and the highest literacy rate in Central America. Although the name Costa Rica means the rich coast in Spanish, it was a poor and underpopulated part of the Spanish Empire from the 16th to the 19th century. After it became independent in 1821, it was ruled by a series of dictators. Since 1902, however, it has had a reasonably stable democratic system. It was part of the Spanish Empire from the 16th to 19th century, so 1500-something until 1800-something, until 1821. For the 16th century until 1821, Spanish Empire, when it regained its independence. There were a bunch of dictators, but since 1902, it has a reasonably stable democratic system. San Jose is the capital. Let's try to say it also. Okay, have you the information? That is the questions. Our questions, what are the information? 1948 military coup. 1948 abolishing for military coup, preventing the mountain height, north to west and east to south. 4,000 meters. Middle heart of Costa Rica. Volcanic soil good for coffee, lush pasture cattle. Bananas growing at the upper coast since the 30s. Iron, silver, gold, bauxite. For the forest, there is the ambition to cut it and sell it. Mainly food processing, just food processing, and manufacturing things derived from sulfur. Manufacturing chemicals derived from sulfur. And then the Spanish Empire, 16th to 1821. 1821, independence. San Jose. I'm in the second category, which I'm going to start now. And now I try to say it. Costa Rica, it lies between North and South America, at the south of Central America, somewhere where Panama is directly north of Ecuador and Colombia. Now, in 1948, the country decided to abolish their army so that it would be not that easy possible to have a military coup. And other things are then to the geography. Now there are mountain ranges there too. There goes one from north to west and one from east to south too. At the sides, at the coasts to the Pacific and to the Caribbean, there's lowland area, but most part is mountain over 4,000 meters high. In the middle between these two mountain ranges, there's the heart of Costa Rica. The soil is good, it's volcanic soil, it's good for planting for coffee, and the lush slopes of these mountains are good for cattle. Until the 1930s at the Caribbean coast there were bananas, but then there were diseases, and now we are at the Pacific coast, the banana plantations. And there's mining after gold, silver, iron and bauxite. And 4/5 of Costa Rica are here in the book from the 70s forest, but there is a great scope for cutting the wood and selling it. Now, and the country was part of the Spanish Empire since the 16th century until 1821. And the capital is San Jose. And that is according to Nations and Places on page 1154 of the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 3, 23, Nations and Places. And it is written by Monica Beckinsale, Robert Beckinsale, Harold Blackmore, DJ Dwyer, Keith Lyer, Stewart and Nancy McMillan, R.E.H. Miller, Kevin Rafferty, D.H. Sinclair, Arthur Spencer, G.R. Story, James Wildersley, and Kenneth Watton. I'm going to stop this again. That was the International Studies part. If you were here for International Studies, you can go directly to the next part of International Studies, where we're going to do another country. But for now it was it. If you stay here and participate in the HIP training, then it's completely honest. We are starting with a rooting tree. Feet together, toes to the outside, other toes, heels and heels. Heels and heels, toes, toes, heels and heels. Now the same thing again. This time you stay down, so go to the knees and stay down. Next exercise, the nonchalant dancing elephant. Hip width apart with the feet, bit down into the knees, flex the leg muscles, press the legs together. Now straighten one leg. Straighten completely. Press together and flex. And bend it again. Our leg. Press together, flex. Straighten the leg. Bit further apart. And basically the same. Down into the knees a bit. Press. Flex the muscles and press together. Straighten one leg. Bend it again. Press together, flex. The other leg straighten it. Press together, flex. And the locomotive unwilling to derail. Stand and now press to the outside. And now the exercise, pie and pilcrow exercise. One leg up, breathe in. Out the leg to the side, breathe again in. Out the leg into the middle, down, other leg up, breathe in. Out to the side, again in. Out into the middle. Have a good standing leg, and if the other one to the side up. You can also make like that. And on the other side. I think it's a dancing flamingo. And now, one hand on tummy, one lower back, and lift one leg straight up. Flex foot. Control with the hands but you don't fall back. Try to bring the leg higher. Bring the leg up, pull it up, point with the toes down and relax the leg. Other leg. Hand on tummy and the other leg. Hand, leg up. Flex foot, try to bring the leg higher. And leg up. Pull it up, point with the toes down, relax the leg. Next exercise, well prepared. If you're pregnant, then don't do it. Good standing foot. With the heel on the ground, lift the heel off the ground and place it again onto the ground. Other side. The wildcatter. This exercise can go into the knee. Stand good, turn over to the side, slowly down, slowly over to the other side, up again, other leg. Stand good, slowly over to the side, down, slowly over to the other side, and up. The illusionistic down sitter. Toes are pointing to the outside, ohne length space between the heels. Breathe into the arms up. Breathe out and sit down. Into the garden pose basically. Bring the hands onto the ground. Again, up with long back, slowly. Breathe in again up with the arms. Out again down. Hands onto the ground. With the back up and round, slowly, round back up, backward shoulder right to top. And the seesaw airplane. Stand good on one leg and go back, arms to the side. And run. Back and run. And now, the hiding airplane. Pull the knee in and out to the side again. Other leg. Stand good. Bring the leg back. And now hiding airplane, arms to the side, pull the knee in. And back in the bed. And we're ending with a trunk. Knijter. Legs to the side. Breathing around. Breathe out. Get in. Out. Breathe in. Cross the legs and bring my hands down. It was my hip training. I thank you very much and until next time.